A possible tragic situation avoided after a proactive father contacts police. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, the Alliance Police Department is investigating an incident where a teen stole his father's AK-47 and ammunition. Chief Phil Lukin says the son was recently released from a juvenile facility and that other juveniles had threatened to fight his son. Lukin says social media posts led to locating the son after law enforcement discovered a social media video of the son firing the weapon in an apparent attempt to scare two other individuals. He says officers have since recovered the AK-47 and its associated ammunition and says the case remains active and the information is preliminary. Well, Scottsville Public Schools is one of just 4 school districts across the state who is a recipient of the newly created Nebraska Department of Education Educator Pipeline Grant. SBPS received a Tier 2 award for $100,000 to be used for strategies supporting the recruitment, preparation, and retention of teachers, paras, education specialists, and leaders. Scottsville Public Schools will initiate a multi-pronged strategy to recruit and support the development of educators through the Educator Pipeline Grant. The activities comprising the program feature evidence-based strategies which were selected based on SBPS's specific talent needs and center around 3 areas: recruitment and identification of new teachers, development of existing SBPS teachers, and strengthened teacher support and culture. Well, coming after the break, we'll take you back to the Old Mitchell Airfield, the site of Friday morning's sunrise mass ascension for the Old West Balloon Fest. KNEB.TV News will be back right after this.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you take advantage of every adventure. We know you have plans, goals, and dreams. Let us help you with them. Whether it is building, buying, or renovating, we have the home loan or home equity line of credit to fit your needs. Stop in and see us at Platte Valley Bank and let us help make your dreams a reality. You belong here. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly.
If I didn't have Life Care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and in fact a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance and in retrospect a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scotts Bluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees, and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
Chad Moyer with you here on the Rural Radio Network. It's time for another Fridays in the Field segment. It's brought to you by FNBO, the great big small bank. And once again, we're visiting with Creston area farmer Bob Larson, who happens to be outstanding in his field today. Yeah. Hey, Bob, thanks for joining us here today. First of all, just the 6-week update. Since we visited with you about a month and a half ago, tell us what's transpired here north of Creston.
Yeah, right now we're busy just trying to keep pivots running and keep some water going on stuff. We've been blessed with some timely rain around here. We've got all our fertilizing done on our corn. We do some wide drop in there, so we got all that done here a couple weeks ago, and got some spraying done on some beans, and so we're sitting pretty good right now, I guess. So,
have you had to deal with any disease or insect pressure yet this season in the corn and soybeans?
We're seeing a little bit of rootworm beetle coming in on corn, but nothing to threshold yet. So we're going to be spraying the start of next week. So we'll come out and we'll bomb some of those just to completely knock them down and get a fungicide out here.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about that here in just a moment as well. Just kind of the update now. I think you said we're through 3 cuttings of alfalfa. Yeah. How has the forage harvest been?
You know, it's been really good quality. The tons, just with we haven't got a ton of rain out here, so it's kind of limited it, but the quality's been really good on the hay. So I guess as a dairy, that's kind of the give and take of it. Is, you know, a lot of times when you don't get the tons, but you still get some of the quality off of it. So we're happy with it, what we've had so far.
Sure. Okay, well, let's talk about that, expand on that a little bit more about how your cropping operation, and you know, that's why we've been talking to you this year, is because of the experimentation and the learning that you're doing in your cropping system. But this cropping system really does support, it's designed to help support the dairy side of your operation too, right?
Yeah, it is. That's a lot of our crops go to making feed for the cows. So that's a lot of what we grow that way, and then kind of the fun side, to fertilize the crops, we use a lot of the manure that we get off the cows to put that on the crops to provide some of the fertilizer. But yeah, a lot of the corn and grains that we grow are for feed. So
happen to be one of 3 or 4 dairies in the state of Nebraska to utilize a robotic dairy, a robotic milking system. Tell me the learning curve on that. Yeah. How has that been?
Yeah. The robotics, there's quite a learning curve. It's a completely different way of milking cows. So I'm sure a lot of people have saw it, but if you haven't, it's kind of a lot different, where the cows actually come to the robot to milk themselves. So right now, there's 250 cows in our barn that are milking themselves. There's not one single person in the barn milking the cows. So it's kind of a different philosophy. So we were the third one to start it in the state. The first one started exactly a year before us. So we started in 2018 with this robot. 2017 was the very first one in the state of Nebraska to have it. So it's relatively new technology for the state. So
I've heard it said the robotic dairy is low maintenance, but it's not necessarily no maintenance. How often, or what sort of management, how did that change how you manage the dairy?
Yeah, so it is lower maintenance, but what we kind of see is somebody's got to be on call 24 hours a day. Those robots milk 24 hours a day. So it has a dialer, it has, you know, somebody to call you if something does go wrong, and it can be the smallest of little things. Most things require it's just like your, I don't want to say VCR because VCRs are old school, but DV
just like your TiVo or whatever.
Yeah. So it's got a play, a pause, and a stop button. So when something happens, it'll pause itself. You come look at it, and most of the time we'll just push the play button and it'll start milking. But it can't decipher between what little things happen, or if a cow kicks it wrong or something. So it'll shut down and tell you, hey, somebody better come look at me. Hopefully everything's all right, and if we'll start back up. But that's 24 hours a day. So I mean that can be in the middle of the night. That can be, you know, during whatever. So
sure. Has it changed your production or your components at all?
You know, from where we were an older dairy. We were milking 350 cows in a double 12 herringbone barn. So everything was older. So, you know, when we rebuilt in 2018 we built everything new. So number one focus we were going to do is what's going to be the best for the cow. So it's a tunnel of ventilated barn, got a nice breeze that goes through there all the time. Cow comfort, it's nice free stalls, plenty of bedding, and the bunks right there for the cows to eat. So it's milking, laying, eating. I mean, they've got it made with everything in there. So we'd anticipate that everything should go up off of it. Now, the robots are low stress on the cow, so they do help the cow that way, just because there's really nothing that is, you know, influencing that cow's life. She just wants to come up and milk on her own and go that way.
Sure. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit, and I guess kind of look forward here. We're going to talk to you next in the harvest season. Yeah. So what's going to happen next for you? You said there's another round of fungicide application, but there's also some experimentation and learning that's going to happen yet this summer. Tell me about that.
So I got these in my pocket here, but I'll bring them out. So we've got these little temp and humidity sensors. So we're gonna activate these on our phone, and it's Bluetooth. But we're gonna come under the canopy, and we're gonna put a couple different areas of these, Chad, and we're gonna measure the temperature and the humidity underneath the canopy. And what we're really looking for here is we're gonna put fungicide on it, and then we're gonna leave a strip where we don't have fungicide. So what we want to experiment and try to learn is, does fungicide lower the canopy temp? Does it change the humidity level? What's actually happening when fungicide goes on to that plant? What is changing it? So we're going to put these out here. We're just going to zip tie them right around the ear under the canopy kind of, and just monitor the temp difference between where we put fungicide and where we didn't, and just see if we learn anything off of it. We're not really sure what we're going to learn off of it. This is really just something that we kind of wanted to know what's actually happening with fungicide and where we're going with it.
Yeah, because that's one of the arguments about a fungicide application, right? Is plant health and getting that crop to its full maturity and to its highest yield. And this is a way of kind of understanding real time what's going on with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've got a lot of stuff we can monitor the moisture in the ground and that, but we really don't measure the temperature of where the ear is of the plant. So we thought, well, let's give it a shot this time and see what happens. So
okay, with the dairy, I would imagine chopped silage is a big forage source. How far away are you on that?
3 to 4 weeks out on that. It's going to kind of depend on the weather. If it stays pretty sunny and hot, it's going to be 3 weeks, and we'll be chopping. If we get a little cloud cover, we'll be closer to 4 weeks. So,
okay.
But
as far as the crops that you're going to take to grain now, what's got to happen between now and then for that to be successful?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to need a little bit of help from Mother Nature on some rain. I think the last I looked, I think we're about 8 inches of rain that it still takes to finish the crop out on most of our stuff. So still takes quite a bit of water to get us to the finish line on that. So we're going to do that. We're going to try to keep the plant healthy. We're going to keep the bugs off of it, and just hopefully Mother Nature cooperates with us. So
yeah, absolutely. Bob, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for the update. Appreciate it much.
Yeah, thanks, Chad.
Again, we've been visiting with Bob Larson from Creston, Nebraska, dairy farmer, and again, experimenting out in his field on different aspects of cropping systems and crop production. And that's this week's update from Northeast Nebraska, here brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank, on the Rural Radio Network. Chad Moyer reporting.
I really like how our OB department takes our limited amount of doctors and turns it into a strength. Even though we only have a couple of people, you get to know them well over your entire pregnancy. We have 2 state-of-the-art labor rooms that are new with our last addition. We have a couple of very nice postpartum rooms also right here in the hospital, so they can get as much time with mom and baby as possible.
Let's take a peek at what's happening on your weekend community calendar. The Community Calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. First State Bank is now Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the same people you know and trust.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you take advantage of every adventure. We know you have plans, goals, and dreams. Let us help you with them. Whether you are just starting the business you have always imagined or looking to grow your existing one, we have a business loan to fit your needs. Stop in and see us at Platte Valley Bank and let us help make your dreams a reality. You belong here. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And finally tonight, the 43rd annual Farmers Day Off Golf Tournament, after a hiatus during COVID, went off without a hitch this year at Riverview Golf Course in Scottsbluff. Todd New, a member of the Farmers Day Off Golf Committee, says after being off 2 years, this year's event celebrates the men who helped pioneer this event.
So we're back, and actually this past year, Kenny Schlager, who actually started this event, passed away a year ago. So this is kind of in honorance of him. I started 43 years ago. And then the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we lost another dear member of our team, Dennis Stricker, just like I said, in the last 10 days. So this is kind of honoring both of those two today also. So
New says the event has always been about farmers.
Just want to have a fun day. If you want to come out and golf, great. There's been a lot of people enjoying the nice course out here at Riverview. And we have a great meal for everybody with a lot of great sponsors throughout the community. I just want to say thank you for all of our agriculture people, farmers, ranchers, come out and enjoy a day off and sit and visit with some neighbors and have lunch and enjoy the day.
Among the many farmers on Riverview Golf Course was Eric Tuttle of Scottsbluff.
It's just a fun day for us to come out and play golf and get away from work and just enjoy a day of golfing and having fun.
High temperatures hitting 100 degrees were not a deterrent for the event, as golfers were teeing off throughout the day. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.